Hey, I just want to give a quick intro before the intro, a little forward here. There are going to be some serious potential triggers in this video. So I have invited on three amazing carnivore women who have been a little sidetracked away from carnivore here recently. They are going to name a lot of foods that they ate during that hiatus. I try to not list any specific foods in my groups. We don't share carb photos or talk about what derailed us because we don't want to take anybody else down with that sinking ship, right? I left it in. I allowed it because I thought it was a really raw and real conversation. If you feel triggered, you can skip ahead to where we get to the results. The results of their little sabbatical away from carnivore were not good. They talk about that also really real and raw. So if you do start watching, at least please stick around for the last half or the last 20 minutes, which I feel like was the most powerful part. Towards the very end of the video, Serena especially got into the part about how she has gotten back on track, some things that she has tried. And we did not go into that a lot. There are lots of tools and tips that I recommend in my groups for helping people if they do fall off that wagon or make choices that don't align with their goals, how to get back on track. Being in a group and getting support is huge. Serena talked about how she and I had been messaging, how she had talked to Courtney throughout all this. Having people who can, that you surround yourself with, who have similar goals, who genuinely want the best for you, giving your mirror neurons somebody to emulate. Peer pressure can be a very negative thing. It's powerful. It can also be a very powerful tool to getting yourself back to where you want to be. So if any of you right now are struggling, the beginning of this video may not be the best thing to watch, maybe. Um, but getting some support and surrounding yourself with people who really do get it and who have some tools to help you, that is my passion. And that same passion to try to help people just sincerely feel better. It's not about let's make people be carnivore and get the results the exact same way I did. It's really about helping people feel better. That's why I made this video. Despite the fact that I am fairly nervous about releasing this video, it is their truth. And I've seen a lot of people struggling lately due to a lot of noise saying you have to have carbs for your thyroid. If you want any energy, you've got to have carbs. If you want to sleep, you have to have carbs. Or you could eat nothing but sugar and lose weight. All of this noise can be a little hard to ignore sometimes. And these three ladies are 2, 3, 4 year carnivores. And if it got to them, I would say it's very possible that it's gotten to some of you as well. I have been listening to it. And even though I didn't go down that path, at the end of the video, we all agreed we all wish we had seen this weeks ago. So I sincerely hope that it is helpful. I am not posting it to derail anyone. It is the total opposite. I'm still completely carnivore, and all of us ladies in this video have had our lives hugely, massively, incredibly changed for the better by eating nothing but animal products. That is what I have done for the last 15 years. This has been working for me. My thyroid is in great shape. My starts with a 4. Everything is good. I feel great. My energy is good. My sleep is good. Moods, everything's been good. We all could sit and have made an entire video. And by the way, they have. All of them have channels where they have talked at length about the benefits they have experienced from carnivore. So please don't take anything in this video as carnivore didn't work for us. Carnivore is working amazingly. And it is more of a cautionary tale of what can happen when we start thinking, oh, maybe I should add a little this and a little that. I'm going to let them speak for themselves. This video has very little editing to it. It's a little long. It's very real. But I just wanted to let you know up front, carbohydrates shall be named. And if that is a potential trigger for you, then I would skip ahead or just know the results from it were not good. Okay. It was 0 out of 5 stars. Okay, settle in. This will be quite a ride. Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Hogan. Welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I wish I had some personalities to bring to y'all today, but all I could find was Jenny Middich, Courtney Luna, and Serena. Oh,
A bunch of wet mops over here.
three of the most personable, amazing women in carnivore. I was just upstairs putting on my overnight mask sent to me by Serena, and nice. Courtney Luna, I have just recently loaned your cookbook out to someone again because I keep meeting people local who say, I'd love to do it, but I just love, and they name foods that are in your cookbook but are carnivore. I'm like, oh, you could totally do this. Let me let you borrow this. My name's inside. I needed that back.
That's amazing. I should send you a case and you can just distribute them. You can just be part of my marketing team that I don't have. So
I would be honored. And
I actually had to buy another one because I was always loaning mine out. So that because then I would want a recipe and I wouldn't have it.
yes, exactly. And I just found out this week that we're going to have another amazing book, but you've said this is recipes and kind of like a guidebook on getting started and troubleshooting through carnivore. Congratulations, Jenny Middich.
Thank you. Yes, it was a labor of love. I'm very excited about it.
And so it's on pre-order right now. And
yeah,
and I will link to that. So as much as I would love for y'all to purchase all of their amazing things, we are here to discuss something far more odd. Okay, so let me tell you three this. I recently did a couple of videos that were about the sugar diet, sugar fasting, adding fruit, and I had some commenters in the YouTube section saying, why would you even talk about this? Who's even bringing this up? Why is it a thing? And I thought, well, how is the weather under your little rock, friend? Because I only brought it up because my entire YouTube feed has been filled with this for about a month, maybe 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You three, we've talked a little bit privately, and then you've shared some publicly. I know, Jenny, on your YouTube channel, you've talked about it some. Maybe all three of you. Why are we talking about this, and what's your experience? Just talk to us about it. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
So I released a video it came out during Meat Stock. So we were all at Meat Stock hanging out, and it was about an update on my thyroid health. And in the comment section, I got so many comments. You should try the sugar diet. You should try the sugar diet. I had never heard of the sugar diet. I was like, what is this? This is dumb, honestly. Yeah. So I looked it up and it was real. And it was just like the perfect N of 1 experiment, because I do a lot of N of 1 experiments on my channel. So I'm like, I have to do this. So many people, even carnivores, were like, ooh, I'm thinking about trying it and all this stuff. And I was just very curious. Also, I will admit, I'm a sugar addict. I love candy. So yeah, exactly. So like the idea that I could eat a ton of candy and sugar and lose weight, I was like, what is this? So I gave it a try. That's kind of like how I found out about it. And it was a whirlwind of an experiment. Let's just say that.
Okay, let's go around. Let's go. I like this. So we don't know how it went for you yet, but that's how you got into it. How about Courtney? What about you?
Okay, so I'm coming out of the sugar diet closet because I haven't talked about this. I did try it for 2 days. So when I mentioned like, oh, people are having results, this is interesting, let's talk about it, some people on my channel would be like, well, if you try it, I'm going to have to unfollow. And part of me is like, okay, bye. But it's like, really, like, let's question things and get curious. Like, we can't even talk about why people are having these results. And like you, like all the comments are like, try it, try it, try it. I've been carnivore for a while, was stalled in weight loss. Like, and this is the only thing that works. And, you know, if anyone watches my stuff, you know, I've like been struggling to get the last 10, 15 off for like 2 years now. So I ignored it for a while because I'm like, there's no way. And then, okay, there's like a lot going on with me right now. So to try and make it short, in my head, I was already like, okay, I'm going to start to play around with adding in carbs. I get a lot of comments that are like, we need carbs for hormones. I felt better after carnivore when I added carbs. So just like a lot of like people's opinions that got in my head. And I'm like, okay, maybe carnivore is not right. Maybe I do need to add carbs. So that was already in my head. And then I have some good friends that were carnivore, are carnivore, and that were trying this and they were loving it. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of like I got to touch the stove for myself and see if it's hot. It was very interesting because I too am a sugar addict, but what I learned during those 2 days, I'm not a sugar by itself addict. I am a sugar with fat. Okay. So
Yeah.
I had fruit that day. I'm going to get canceled. I'm so afraid to say this. I feel like Jenny doing the experiment is like totally fine because it's like, here's all the data. Me saying this, I feel like people are going to come for me. But I had candy. It was mostly fruit and candy. I don't think I had soda. I don't remember. Oh, I had some juices. Okay. I had zero desire to overeat that or binge. There was a day where I just had a couple pieces of candy and I just left it alone. That desire to overeat wasn't there because apparently it's only there when it's linked to fat. Like I can't go on the donut diet. I will eat them all. Okay. So it's very interesting to have that experience where it's like, wow, I don't want to binge on this. So it's not just the sugar by itself. So that was very interesting. But I feel like trying that and then my mindset of trying to add back in carbs, woo, I went off the rails. And maybe we could even talk about that later. But I'm currently not even doing that well right now because the food noise is back. So I'm conflicted on a lot of things right now, having the people in my head about how we should have carbs. But when I add in the carbs, the food noise comes back and I feel mentally so much better on carnivore. But then I'm like, but I don't want to be carnivore forever. I want to have things, but I think that's the sugar addict in me. So I could go on and on and on, but that was my little experience with the sugar diet.
Okay. No, let's all just sit and reflect. I feel like that would be exactly me. I really do. I don't think I could handle it either. And I think there will be a lot of people who totally get what you're saying when we've heard people saying, oh, you can add things back and feel better and lose weight. And it's like, oh, well, those are things I want. Oh, and it comes in the form of tasty sugar. Okay. There's a reason my YouTube feed was becoming more and more filled with it because I was watching it and intrigued and going, oh, really? So I get it. I don't think you're going to get a lot of hate here. I think you're going to get a lot of empathy here, Courtney, because that's the most relatable thing I've ever heard. All right, Serena, what's your origin story with the sugar diet?
My sugar diet origin also had to do with meat stock, Jenny. I was on my way home from meat stock, leaving there, and a friend of mine messaged me and said, yeah, have you heard about this? And this friend had also done like 30 days of just potatoes with no butter on them. Like this person loves N=1 experiments, like loves to just experiment. He has lower body fat than he's like ever had in his life doing things like this. And he wants me to try it. And I'm always just saying, I can't do that. This was a carnivore friend. Just like, I can't do that. I'm a sugar addict. I can't do it. But the sugar diet sounded so intriguing to me. So it's a 2-hour drive for me back from meat stock. And I listened to podcasts and videos and things like that the whole way home. And by the time I got home, I was convinced that I had to try it. And at this point, I had gained back about 6 or 7 pounds from when I had like kind of hit my goal the month before that. And I was a little bit frustrated with myself, just stress and busyness. My son was getting married. I was getting ready for meat stock. You just had so much going on. And so it just sounded intriguing to me. Could this be possible? And I was full on the next day. We had company in town from the wedding and it didn't matter. Like I was full on with this, with all the dried mango, but my lizard sugar brain did the same kind of thing. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. Now, granted, I did overeat the dried mango, but I didn't have like what Courtney was saying, that need to like gorge myself really wasn't there. Like throughout the day, it was really interesting. And the more I read about it, the more intrigued I was and the more determined I was to try to stick with it. So I'll keep my results to a minimum here so we can talk about all that later. Bottom line, the lizard brain, the I want sugar, it turned into just I want carbs, not just sugar. Like the sugar wasn't enough. I know you guys all know Casey Ref, right? he says a little bit turns into a lot of it.
Oh,
And I
okay.
love that. Like, because, and people will say one bite's not one bite's too many and 1,000 is never enough. That's what it was like. Although I wasn't gorging myself on this sugary stuff necessarily, I thought about it all day long. What was my next hit going to be? What was my next thing going to be? And all the while, for a month, I did this. And all the while, drilling it in with YouTube videos and podcasts and people's amazing results about the sugar diet. It was really hard to wrap my mind around. And then at the same time, it wasn't working for me. So that's my summary of kind of how it started and how it went.
Yeah. I was just talking to a lady today who has been talking about how great it has been. She was carnivore for a couple of years. She has recently switched over to doing like pure fruit all day. She said it hasn't caused any cravings for her. And I'm like, what? Really? Okay. However, what she doesn't talk about publicly is she is taking, and for the last year and a half, has been on a GLP-1. I think that probably does help with the whole it didn't get out of control thing. She doesn't share that part, by the way. I mean, I'm friends with this woman. She doesn't talk about that aspect. So I feel like
that's unfair.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
The men who are doing this, they have been very vocal. A lot of the YouTuber men are vocal about the fact that they do heavy resistance training several times a week, and they are on performance enhancing drugs like steroids. That also doesn't describe a lot of the women I work with.
Mm-hmm.
What I've seen with real life people like yourself, as it turns out, you're real life people.
We are.
It's that a little taste of sweet leads to, oh, this is amazing. I want more taste of sweet. And it does turn out that there are people losing weight eating nothing but pure sugar, but have said to me that it's really hard to stick to that because you get hungry for some fat or protein.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think what you're saying is really, well, it aligns with what I've seen in like group members and people that I've talked to. All right. So Jenny, now that we know how you got here, how did it go?
It was crazy. It was horrible, honestly. So I did it for 8 days. First day, I ended up eating like 3,700 calories of fruit, pure sugar, like berries dipped in sugar, candy, ices. We went to go see Mission Impossible. So I ate some, candy and ices at the theater. I felt like garbage. That was probably like the highest calorie day. Macros, I think I had 800 grams of carbs that day. It was insane. A lot of these sugar diet influencers are saying, there's no calorie restriction and, just make sure it's low protein and you can do whatever you want. So I was just following what like Mark Smelly Bell was doing. That's how I modeled my diet. Over the next few days, I probably had heartburn 4 or 5 of the days. It was really bad. Gastrointestinal distress. God, I went to the bathroom like 6 times before 10 a.m., which, on carnivore, it's just not normal.
Yeah.
God, what else? Oh, I started getting breakouts, pimples, and I don't ever get breakouts anymore. And I got a lot on my neck. My oral health, my gums started to bleed. I noticed that on day 7, I started to get anxiety again. And mental health stuff. I used to have severe anxiety and depression that was medicated for years. Wow. I don't take anything anymore for the 2.5 years that I've been on carnivore. And that was on day 7. I was just like, whoa. As far as the experience of eating all that sugar, sure, I was excited about it in the beginning. I had a lot of fun grocery shopping. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have these gummy nerds and Sugar Patch Kids, Sour Patch Kids, and strawberries and all this stuff. But by the end of the first day, what you were just talking about, that craving for meat,
yes,
and just something other than sugar, I had like ground turkey and mushrooms and zucchini with maybe like 30 grams of fat total that I cooked it in.
Right.
I plowed it. I was starving for that food. It was like insane. Every day I was so looking forward to the meat. Just because you didn't eat it all day. I did a sugar fasting day because apparently that's really good for losing weight or whatever. Nah, I gained a pound. I ended up gaining 5 pounds during my 8-day experiment. I did not have any success 5 pounds gained. And I just now, yesterday, got back to my starting weight. I ended this experiment on June 5th. It is July 11th.
Oh,
I
okay.
ended up gaining probably like 4 or 5 more pounds after that. The sugar cravings, definitely, I had no sugar cravings after 8 days of doing this for about a week.
Okay.
And then everything started to kind of creep in again. Desserts go out to dinner with friends. I'm like, oh, I can have a dessert, whatever, extra carbs and stuff. So yeah, I got up to 167, almost 168. I started at 160. And I've, been trying to add carbs in this whole year a little bit just because for thyroid health, all these thyroid practitioners are like, oh, you have to add carbs. You have to add carbs. It's good for your T3, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And I've gained 9 pounds of fat from January 1st because of all these extra carbs that I've added in. And I'm not just talking like crap. I was eating like salads and fruit and like good stuff. Doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. Then the sugar diet experiment, there's no way I could ever eat like that. And I think a lot of the influencers out there that are doing this, they're not taking any markers. They're not measuring their like using a continuous glucose monitor. They're not doing blood work. They're not doing DEXAs. All they're saying is like, oh, I'm losing weight. I'm more vascular. I have more energy at the gym. And it's like, great, but are you going to die? Like what's going on inside, And I think for the vast majority of the population, there's just no way. I just don't think it's going to work for most people. Like most of the people that I've seen in these videos are either ripped on steroids, young,
Yes.
kids. They're like in their early 20s. Like I could do anything in my early 20s and lose weight. At 41 with Hashimoto's, no.
Right.
So it was crazy.
I saw on your video that one of the most common comments, Jenny, was, thank you for taking one for the team. And honestly, that's how I felt watching, because even though I was not having any sugar cravings, I haven't thought about eating sugar in many years. Legit. Y'all know, you've all been there. You've been craving free where you just don't even think about it. But then I'm watching these hot looking people going, shoving in gummy bears. And I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But then I watched your video. I was like, oh no.
I would not do it again. Like for my own health or whatever, it declined so quickly. 8 days. And I'm getting anxiety again. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. The mental health part, I know, will ring true for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Courtney, you told me there was a mental health side as well. So what happened for you when you did it?
So I did it 2 days in a row, just all sugar. I ended up losing a couple pounds. On the third day, I did sugar in the morning. Then we went out to sushi and that felt great. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't even know what to do. Like, since I feel good with this carb, I'm like, I guess I'm going to play around with adding carbs back in. And so after that third day, the next day it's like, I'm just going to do it. We're just going to see. I'm going to try and just have a little bit of fruit, try and keep it healthy. I did good for a few days. And then we went to Palm Springs for the weekend, and my kids eat pretty healthy, but we went to a farmer's market. There were pastries, and I'm already the sugar monster's back. So I'm like, yeah, get a pastry, guys. It's almost like I'm living vicariously through them. And unfortunately, Hazel didn't like one of her pastries. So I'm like, oh, you can't throw it away. Let me throw it away in my body. Mm-hmm. So that was the first. Honestly, I've had some slip ups with fruit or my kids' masa chips, but this is the first junk food that I've had since going carnivore over 3 years ago. And it was oh gosh, that was a horrible idea, because then it just went downhill from there. And it was a 3-week spiral, honestly. Nothing awful. Again, it's just what I'm feeding my kids, but just lots of, not so much the fruit. I can not overeat the fruit, but the dried mango. What else was I having? A bunch of macadamias. And then it's oh, some peanut butter pretzels. Oh, get the kids pizza one night. Oh, I'm going to have 4 slices of pizza and then tell Jeff, you need to go to Yogurtland right now. I'm not taking no for an answer. You need to go to Yogurtland, and this is what I want. Fruit Loops on it or Fruity Pebbles. Like Courtney, the
Courtney.
dyes, like the food dyes, the sugar, like what do you do? I felt like an addict. And honestly, this is how I was for 4 months before I found carnivore. I was literally on a 4-month bender where every night I was in the drive-thru at McDonald's getting a McFlurry. It was out of control. I gained 40 pounds in 4 months. And so I'm seeing this happen again. I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's like, you can't stop. Like you almost just don't care. You know what you're doing and you're like, I don't care. I'll try again tomorrow. So honestly, that was a 3-week spiral. And then on Sunday, I'm like, I need to reset. I'm going back to carnivore. I went back to carnivore for 4 days, but then I'm like, everyone in my head, oh, we need carbs. And then there's other people that are like, you don't need carbs. You just need the proper fat macros, this, that. So I'm like, I'm just going to try adding carbs again. And that was it's been a couple days and it's not really going that well. So it's like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I know that I'm not a moderator, that I need to abstain, but I'm having difficulties mentally because part of me doesn't want to be strict carnivore forever. I would love to just have some berries here and there and call it a day. And the berries themselves, I'm not overeating, but they lead to other things because I'm like, oh, well, I'm already having carbs. So let me just have a bite of this. Let me have a bite of that. And honestly, like, I'm not really in the best place, but I'm also not confident on what I'm doing because I have so many different opinions in my head. So I don't even know like how to eat anymore, I feel like. But mentally, I feel my best on carnivore. There's no food noise. It's very peaceful. But when you add bites of things back in, it's like, it's chaos up here right now.
Courtney, I just want to give you a hug. That sounds really hard. I'm serious. That when I say relatable, everybody who ends up watching this, comment, give Courtney some love because I genuinely think that is what would happen for most of us adding things back. And not only what would happen, what has happened to many people who have tried adding. Okay, so the folks like Mark Bell, Cole Robinson, who advocate for eating nothing but pure sugar. By the way, Cole Robinson has already moved on. Did y'all know that? He's moved on
to what?
Zero fat in the dirt. You got to get fat in the dirt. No, he says, quote, sugar dieting is dead.
Isn't he just a comedian? Like comedian? I mean, why are we taking dietary advice from this guy is my question.
I can't listen to him between the cursing and the yelling. I can't do it.
Oh, and I love it. I'm like, give me more. But he just needs to like tell me carnivore stuff or something. I love the yelling.
Yeah. If the language was a little cleaned up and he was just screaming at people to eat meat, that'd be awesome. Well, anyway, he says sugar dieting is dead. That the idea is there can be no fat. If you're fat, you can't eat any fat. Well, okay. All right. I'm not going to go down that road right now. But yes, I completely get why you tried it, Courtney. And everybody watching, myself included, we just want you to feel good and to get your head back and to get results that you want. It's not about dogma. I don't know what that's going to look like for you, but I love you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like for me either. If that's going to lead me down a path of where I am right now, like that's not the answer either. So I need someone to give me the magical answer, or I just, need to be like sent away to like fat camp or something. Like I just can't have other things in the house now. Whereas for 2 years, it never bothered me. My kids' fruit, the little, tallow fried chips, that was never a thing. But like once you get a taste, it's hard to shake that sugar monster. Like it's got me, wrap me up.
Dang. All right. Serena, what happened?
I've made some notes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's bad that I'm going last, but there was a couple of points that
get comfortable. No.
that you guys made that I just don't want to like forget. So I think, first of all, if only I had seen this video first, right? If I had seen this video first, maybe I wouldn't have tried it. But I feel like the reason carnivore works for so many of us is, and I've talked to some of you guys about this, like carnivore compartmentalizes my food choices. Like everything I eat fits in this animal-based box, right? It's these animal products. Those are the things I can eat. If you throw one thing in there that's not part of that category, that's it. I'm an all or nothing person. That's it. You throw one in there. It's the same way it used to be for me with every other diet that I have ever done, any other place in my life I have ever been. If I started off the day and took one bite of my kid's cereal when I was going to juice fast for the day or something, that was it. I'd say, well, I've already had that bite, so I might as well have a whole bowl of my own. And that's what it turned into for me with the sugar diet. And I mean, if we're being really honest, it actually started for me a couple of weeks before that when my oldest daughter found a sourdough dealer locally who makes sourdough bread. And I haven't eaten wheat in like 12 years because I get restless leg syndrome real bad. And I had heard that if you're intolerant to wheat, you can eat sourdough. And I was like, well, I have to try. I have to just taste it, right? And just see, is that true? Because I have another daughter who can't eat wheat either. And we were both able to eat it. So I was shocked by that. And then Courtney knows because I sent her a message on my way to the movies in April. We're going to the movies. I think I'm having popcorn. She said, don't do it. She tried to talk me off the ledge, but the sourdough was already in there. I was already eating a little bit of sourdough here and there. So it was like, I'm going to have some popcorn. And I had the popcorn, but then it had eased off a little bit, before the sugar diet thing. But the first couple of days on the sugar diet, I did okay. And then much like you, Jenny, at the end of like the second or third day, I wanted some meat. Like I wanted some protein and I had the protein. And then it was like, well, I'm not sugar fasting anymore. So what's the difference? I might as well have a piece of sourdough with my chicken because some people were doing starch with their protein in the evenings, rice or whatever. And I thought, well, I'll have some sourdough, but it came with a tablespoon of butter per slice. And remember, it's the sugar in the absence of the fat and the protein that makes the sugar thing work. So I immediately was sabotaging myself almost every day after that. I would make it through 2 days. I would lose a couple of pounds. I would add in the sourdough and the chicken or whatever, and I would gain 4 pounds. I ended up gaining 8 pounds in a month. And it was literally like a free-for-all. I would wake up every day and say, today's the day I'm just going to sugar fast. I mean, come on, how can I not do this? How could I, right? Like I've been dreaming about eating these foods for the last 4 years that I've been carnivore. How could I not do this? How can I not stick with it? Like I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't stick with even this, right? It's like, I mean, how much of a failure does that make you feel like every day when you can't even stick to just sugar? So then it was like, I would wake up and say, okay, I'm going to go back to carnivore. And then I couldn't stick with carnivore either. So I left Courtney a message the other day, so my family notified me after all of this that it actually disrupted our family that I was eating this way. Like on vacation, just on a normal day, it affected them because it was a free-for-all for everybody because I was doing it. And it reminded me of my mom, who was an alcoholic. She passed away in December after we hadn't spoken in 14 years. But I looked back, reflecting on all the times over the years when I was growing up and even as an adult. And she would say, I'm so sorry, Serena, I'm going to do better. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to drink anymore. And she would tell me that. And then she'd binge. And it reminds me of that. When I get my hands on something, like if my mom had one drink of alcohol, her hair would frizz. Like you could tell if she had one sip, you could tell what was about to go down. And I started thinking, is that what I look like to my kids? When I get my hands on whatever it is they're eating, and I have, like, during that time, I would say, don't let me eat any more of this. And then they would open up a bag of something and I would reach my hand in and eat a couple. And then they would go, hey, Mom. And they would like try to pull the bag for me. And I would say, no, just give me a bite. Like when I look back on what that must have looked like. And that's, recent, that's last month for me. And I always remember a time when my oldest daughter was about 4, maybe a little bit older than that, when we were at IHOP with my husband's whole family eating breakfast. And I think maybe I was pregnant and I had eaten my eggs and my bacon or whatever. And I had started on my pancakes and she reached over and wanted some of my pancakes and I gave her a little bit. And a little while later, she reached over to get more and I yelled at her at the table at IHOP. And I still remember what that felt like afterwards when I came down off of the high. I think I ended up ordering her own pancakes. Stop eating my pancakes, kid.
Oh.
I look back on that sometimes and I just think, how much of this have I done to them in all these years of my ups and downs and my fad diets and my all of those things? Is it just like my mom being an alcoholic? And so I think that's what hit me the hardest on the whole thing, was just that re-realization that I am a carb addict. I am like a drug addict. I am like an alcoholic when it comes to those foods. And I have to abstain, as much as I would love to be able to eat a little something, and I'm at the point, I'm about to be a first-time grandma. And my grandchild is inevitably going to make some cookies one day and say, Grandma, taste this. And I would love to be at a point where I can take one bite and say, wow, that's really good, honey, and then be done with it. I mean, that is kind of my ultimate goal, is that if my kids or my grandchild makes a cookie and says, Grandma, taste this, I want to take one bite and walk away. And I want to be at that point, but I'm not there yet. And so I have to, and I have been for the last week. The last 3 weeks have been pretty good. I mean, I've had a few mishaps because it's still in there. I wake up some days and I think, I'm going to just do sugar today. Even still, like this week, I woke up a couple of days and thought, I'm going to have a light day. I'm just going to do sugar today. Like for the last 4 years, that never would have been something that I even would have considered, but it's in there. It's like the sugar is still in my brain. The sugar is still telling me it's okay. It's okay. You can have a little bit, just like it used to tell my mom, just like the alcohol used to tell my mom, you can just have a little bit, And so if I was ever not convinced that it's just like being an alcoholic, I am convinced. And I've said that for years, though. It's the same thing. But being in that moment again and relating that to what it was like for me as a kid and watching my kids watch me, I have to do it for them. I have to be back on track. I have to be back to being healthy mom. My brain is different when I'm eating those foods. I act differently. I behave differently. And I told Courtney the other day that I can't imagine that I could be doing to them the same thing my mom did to me, except with like sugar, So anyway, so I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm not at this point going to be adding things back in, but I would love to be able to take that bite of something that my kids or my grandkids make me and have that be okay, and not have it throw the rest of the day away because I had one bite of something. But for now I can't.
No, I just want to add to that because I understand that. And well, first of all, thank you for all that you just shared, Serena. I love you. But I get what that feeling is because I would like to as well. But I feel like we normalize sugar because as an alcoholic myself, there's a reason why I don't drink anymore. I would never have a sip of beer because my kid wanted me to. There's just no way. I'm not going to have that one sip. I will be back into my old ways and be a drunk again. So I get what you're saying because I feel the same way, but I don't know. Will we ever get there? I don't know. And I feel like if we can't, that's okay. And we're allowed to tell people, no, I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to do maybe my example isn't appropriate for this channel, but I was going to say, do something else on the weekend. I'm not going to do that for somebody else. I think that maybe there can be other ways we share and show love. Maybe we make some carnivore cookies or something, but I totally relate to you, but I don't know if that's ever going to work for us, to be honest.
My nephew, he loves to tease me with treats. They're pretty keto-ish, gluten-free, sweetened with honey because he has an amazing mom. But he'll be like, Aunt Kelly, do you want to try one of Mommy's cupcakes? And so I'll say, boy, bye, are you crazy? And then I'll tickle him, be like, no, patooey, gross. And it's become a joke. Yeah. Does that mean he doesn't love, I'll probably be playing that same joke with my grandkids someday. I think it's okay to just tease and turn it into a game. He honestly offers it to me more than he does anybody else because it's way more fun that other people just eat it, Serena. That's lame. They eat his dumb cookies. Boring. That's so boring. You could be the fun grandma that tickles him and chases him and says, let me throw that in the trash. And he'll run and gobble it up. And then doesn't that sound more fun?
Yeah. I just don't want ever to be where they're afraid to offer it to me. You know what I mean? I don't want my kids to be saying, my grandkids, oh, don't try to give that to grandma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to just tell them.
Spit it in the trash. Don't swallow it.
Spit it in the trash after. That's right. Like bodybuilders do. Taste it, spit it out.
There you go. Yeah. I'm still going with the tickle method. Just.
I'll try it.
Yeah. It could be fun. They will react based on you. He's not afraid to offer me anything. Right? My little nephew.
Yeah.
because of how my reaction has been.
Yeah.
If it's like, oh, honey, I wish I could.
Sure.
Right? There's none of that. None of that. It's
Yeah.
just a fun game. Okay. First of all, the three of you, I think, are amazing. Truly amazing. And I'm so grateful that you shared. And like Serena said, I really wish I had seen this video when I was sitting around watching all of this a few weeks ago. Hey, people, I hope this is really helpful. Not just if you're considering the sugar diet, but if you are considering having a bite of your grandson's cookie or little of this, little of that. And to be fair, we all know people who can do that. I just really don't think I will ever be one of them any more than I think Courtney should take one shot at her grandkid's 21st birthday someday. Woo, right? You should have a shot of something, but maybe, just not alcohol, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird how I just did that, how I normalized that one bite while also talking about how it's exactly like being an alcoholic. It's really interesting how I did that because that is a food and sugar and carbohydrates and sugar are normal, versus being an alcoholic is not, right?
Yeah, food, like sugar is an accepted
Yes.
drug. Like it's
And even I
normalized.
just accepted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we could say, well, that's because it's legal. So is alcohol. It's legal. We're not talking about comparing it to just cocaine. It may feel that way, but we're saying a legal substance that people typically will have. A lot of women right before bed every night.
Yep.
But no, a lot of folks can't do that. I don't do it either. And I know I can't moderate sweet. Yeah. Okay. So Serena, you're back on track. You're feeling good.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me say, talking to you a lot and seeing your information about fat fasting has helped me immensely. I really think part of the reason I was kind of able to just get back on track was having so much fat. I mean, I never would have thought that my diet could just be like heavy cream and that I wouldn't gain weight and that, that would keep me satisfied. But my giant, lattes with decaffeinated espresso with this much frothed heavy cream with some butter in it, and then just some whipped cream or carnivore ice cream or egg yolks and some butter. I never would have thought that could do it. I've been doing that off and on for a long time, but I think making that decision coming right off the sugar really helped me. I had gained 8 pounds. I'm down 7.
Nice.
In 2.5 weeks just from doing that. And that's huge because I can really look forward to that decaffeinated latte or that whipped cream more than I was even looking forward to the sugar. And I don't get sick of it like I did kind of with the sugar and like I do sometimes even with other carnivore foods. So that the fat fasting has been huge for me in this recovery, that I feel like I'm going through this weekend. I'm trying to lean things out just a little bit and do some higher protein days to just kind of see how that affects me. We'll see if it makes me crave things or whatever. But I really enjoy the fat fasting. So I think for anybody who tried this and it didn't work and it's making you crave and stuff, if you can get on the fat fasting bandwagon, I mean, that really has made a difference for me.
Yes. I was hoping you would bring it up. I'm so glad.
Huge.
Fat fasting is so huge for me right now. Love it.
Yeah. Huge. And it's very little protein. Like people think it's just a higher fat version of carnivore, but it's really not. It's almost exclusively fat. If you're going to have the eggs, it's just the yolks. If you're going to have, and I know people will say, oh, but heavy cream has carbs, and it does, but it doesn't affect you. The animal carbs don't affect you. Although cheese would. If I was eating like 2,000 calories of cheese in a day, I would have gained weight for the last 2.5 or 3 weeks. But instead, if I stick with a fat fast the next day, the scale is always down every time, whether I eat 1,500 calories or 2,500 calories. And I know it's the same for you, Kelly.
Yes, it is. And it's not just the two of us, it turns out. I have a lot of group members who are losing a lot of body fat, having nothing but pure fat days. I know the Emmerichs love pure protein days, and I've got some group members who will throw those in once or twice a week. And I've got some who are throwing in pure fat days once or twice a week. I have some that will do a calorie deficit once or twice a week, so they're doing different things. And some of these people are losing when they could not lose on just eat all the meat you want that day, just pure carnivore. Now, don't get me wrong. No one here is anti just eat all the meat you want that day.
No.
No, that's a great place to start. We're talking like when you get down to that last 15 pounds, sometimes people need tools. Hey, Jenny.
I was going to say, maybe one of the reasons why the fat fasting is working is because it's the FGF21 activation as well.
Absolutely. the same as the sugar diet. The
Right.
reason sugar fasting works is it releases FGF21 in your body, so hormone that helps your body boost your metabolism and burn fat. And I do think that that's why. And it's so much easier than the sugar fasting because you're full and you're satisfied from the richness from the fat, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, also, though, you're not getting all of the negatives of the sugar. You know,
Exactly.
instead, just eat the animal fats, make sure it's super high fat. You want to keep your protein under like 12%, and you can have the exact same effect that a lot of these bodybuilders are having without the detrimental effects.
Okay, fine, I'll do it.
Right.
Girl, that's all we're trying to say, Courtney. It was like, say it. Tell Courtney, Serena, what
I'll do
she
it.
should do.
Is this an intervention? I've tried it I did one day a couple years ago because obviously I saw Kelly do it, and I've never done it really since. I don't think I've done like an egg fast and sardine, but I haven't done it for more than one day. It was entertaining it this morning. I logged my weight and I put fat fast ? Because all I've had so far is heavy cream in my coffee, which I don't normally do. But I have like salmon in the fridge that needs to be eaten. So I don't know if it's going to
fatty.
be, but it's protein. I
You
don't know.
have
So
kids. Give it.
I know, but I love it. I don't want to share.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
I'll tell you something that I can get away with that would be worth trying. If I have ice cream, fat fast, pure fat in the mornings, and then there's at least a 4-hour window, then I can get away with protein, typically 30 grams or under. So with salmon, we're talking 5 to 6 ounces. That wouldn't be a massive amount of salmon, but 30 grams of protein for dinner. Just like these sugar fasters are doing pure fruit all day, you can do pure fat. There just has to be a window of like, wipe it out. For me, I found, and I don't make a promise that it'll be the exact same way, Courtney, but 4 hours. And then I can have some protein for dinner. So it could be worth trying a modified fat fast.
I'm down. I think that actually sounds good. Yeah, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing the fruit and then, letting some time go by and then having that lean dinner. But yeah, if we can do it in a carnivore way, we're eating, I would love to eat carnivore ice cream all day. Are you kidding me? Like, absolutely sign me up. And then just have a little protein at night some days. That could be the magic ticket to at least get me to stop spiraling, honestly.
I will say that a couple of years ago when Kelly was doing lots of fat fasting with like the whipped beef tallow and stuff, I was doing that too at around that same time. And the beef fat trimmings from the butcher in the air fryer, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoy the heavy cream version of fat fasting. So if you've ever tried fat fasting with the fat trimmings and things like that, try going the other way and doing it with, I can do a quart of heavy cream in a day, no problem, no problemo, with like a whole stick of butter and not gain weight the next day, actually lose half a pound or a pound. And the heavy cream, let's call it the heavy cream diet. Let's call it what it is. It's very versatile. You can whip it. You can drink it with some egg yolks in it, like eggnog. You can turn it into ice cream. You can use it in your lattes. Like, it's actually pretty versatile. You can cook it down. You can drink it hot. You can go to Starbucks and get a whole cup for, what is it, $2.50?
Beep.
Okay, move over, Cole. We have Serena and the fat
heavy
diet.
cream
Here we
diet.
go.
Yes.
I have a question though. So I can't do dairy. I can do butter, but I cannot do heavy cream, cheese, or anything because of the Hashimoto's. I am going to do a raw milk experiment to see if that doesn't do it. I'm doing that in September. But what would I do? Serena, you just mentioned the tallow and the beef trimmings and stuff. So how would I do a fat fast if I can't have anything but butter?
I have two thoughts. First of all, I don't do well with dairy either if it's with meat. I will get stuffy, fluffy, and bumpy if I add dairy to my meat. Yes, I've given this some thought, the stuffy, fluffy, bumpy. Cheeseburgers do not love me back. But if I have nothing but pure fat, I can handle it. So it's possible. I don't know. One day I'm sure would let you know how that's going. But the other thing is I've done most of my fat fasting 2 years ago was non-dairy. It was beef fat trimmings. Do you have a dehydrator, Jenny? Oh, have you ever dehydrated pure beef fat?
So good.
So meat candy, right? A little tahini on it. Yeah. If any of you have never done that, get on it. It's 160 degrees, 12 hours, thin strips of beef fat, a little seasoning. It was like meat candy. The whipped tallow bites, bone marrow, egg yolks, butter. That's how I did it. I didn't include dairy because I assumed I couldn't.
That's why I did it too, until you started adding so much dairy. And I was like, I wonder if I could get away with that. And I was, shocked. shocked. I mean, just blown away by it. I mean, I will put, some coffee in a quart jar, add a little bit of ice to it and fill it with heavy cream and just sip on it. Like,
So jealous.
You don't know how I figured out this was even an option for me. It was, so I had done lots of fat fasting, but hardly any dairy at all except for butter. And then back in October, our family took a trip out west and we were in a camper. And we flew there to get the camper, so I could not have my air fryer. I was like, what am I even going to eat? We weren't making a lot of stops. The kids had a bunch of beef sticks and jerkies, and I'm just not really into that. So I thought, I don't care. I'm on vacation. If I gain 5 to 10 pounds, who cares? I'm going to have a lot of whipped cream and ice cream. There was a refrigerator in there, so I had a freezer, put it in there. I'm just going to have all the heavy cream I want. And I came back from this trip having eaten almost nothing but I was buying it by the gallon because they sell it now, heavy cream by the gallon. Having had almost nothing but pure cream the entire trip. And I had lost not just weight, but body fat. And I'm like, what was it about Utah that made me lose weight? I got to move to Utah and my skin was good. I wasn't stuffy. And suddenly I was like, okay, I'm gonna repeat this at home. And I found I was getting the exact same results. So I had some close friends trying this, and they're like, I eat nothing but milkshakes all day with heavy cream, egg yolk, some vanilla extract, salt, cinnamon, and I'm losing weight. And then I heard, and I had no explanation. When people would ask, I'd say, I don't know, I guess magic. I don't know. The Lord loves us is all I know. That's all I got. Until the sugar diet thing where they were talking about the FGF21. And that was the first time I thought, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try this just dairy now.
But it's not just any dairy though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not cheese. Not cheese.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting though, because as you were talking, I'm trying to think like, have I ever done where I've just done, heavy cream or the carnivore ice cream that I make without any meat in that day? And I don't think I have.
Yeah, and I like the heavy cream warmed with some butter in it, froth it up. If you have a frother, like get it warm, put some butter in it and froth it up. Like turns into like this buttery, whipped creamy, like drink. It's so good. Put some egg yolks in it.
Sounds amazing.
I'm drooling.
I'm like drooling with you.
So good.
Salivating.
I'm sorry I started the day with protein today.
Dress. All right, y'all. Well, hopefully folks watching have at least some reasons to not go buy bags of candy and reasons to potentially try a lot of fat. And if that's
what a roller coaster.
Yeah, we're all over the place today, y'all. Yeah, that's true. But I think we all have at least reasons to not eat a standard American diet now, right? If somebody's doing that, my gosh, let's start with that. Try anything else and it might work, but maybe try some fat.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I love you, ladies. I'll link to all of your stuff below. I am guessing that if somebody is watching me, I hope to heavens they're watching all of you too. And if you're not, you should be. So thanks, y'all. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.